the last bit of rounding that we're going to look at is significant figures. Okay, so we can get asked to round to a certain amount of significant figures. Now, a significant figure is one that shows either quantity or accuracy. So the only number that can be both significant or not is 0. Every other number is always significant because every other number is always going to show quantity. Okay. When we're asked to round to a certain amount of significant figures, there are 3 rules that we need to try and remember. First thing is, the first digit of any number that is significant is simply the first non-zero number. Second rule is that the remaining significant figures are going to follow on immediately after that one, regardless of whether they are 0 or not. Okay, and the third rule, after rounding off the last digit, zeros must be filled in up to but not beyond the decimal point. Now this will make a lot more sense if we have a look at some examples. First example then, we've got 54.7651 and we're going to round it to 4, then 3, then 2, then 1 significant figure. So if I want 4 significant figures, there's my first significant figure, there's my second, there's my third, there's my fourth. So I follow my same rules of rounding. If I look to my last one, it's a 5, so it's going to round that up to a 7. So we get 54.77. Nothing else I do with that one. That would be to 4 significant figures. To 3 significant figures, and always come back to the first one. There's 1, 2, 3. After my third significant figures is a 6, so that's going to push that 7 up to an 8. So we'll get 54.8, and that will be 3 significant figures. 2 significant figures. There's 1, there's 2. So I get 54. After that point is a 7, so 7 is going to push that up to a 5. So that's going to be 2 significant figures. Last one then, 1 significant figure. There's my 5. After my 5 is a 4, so it's going to stay as a 5. That's just following my normal rules of rounding. We always look to the next number along to decide. If you think back right to the beginning of rounding, I said I wanted to keep this number as close as possible to the starting number. Now 54.7651 is close to 54.77. It's close to all of these ones. See, the less it's rounded, the closer it is. 5's way off. And this is where the third rule comes in. After rounding off the last digits, n zeros must be filled in up to but not beyond the decimal point. So see this extra number here before my decimal point, I need to fill that in with a 0. And that would give me it to 1 significant figure. Okay. Let's have a go at the next one. I'm just going to give myself a wee bit more space here. Right, we've got 0.045902. I start counting at my first non-zero number. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. After my fourth one is a 2. It looks like it's on that at 0, but it's not. It's just my bad spacing. So it's 0.00. These zeros don't count, so we're not counting them. We start counting here because we start counting at the first non-zero. So we get 4, 5, 9, and I need to decide if I'm rounding it up this 2 or leaving it as a 2. My next number, sorry, not a 2, a 0. My next number is a 2, so that stays as a 0. And that 0 at the end is then showing accuracy. The ones at the beginning are only showing place value. That's why they're not significant. 3 significant figures then. 1, 2, 3. Takes me to 9. Again, I'm not counting these zeros at the beginning, so don't start counting till I get to that 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, after the 9 is a 0, so it'll stay as 9. 3 significant figures. Looking for 2 significant figures. Let me just clear this. Make it a bit easier for you to see. 1, 2. Try again. 1, 2. After the 5 is a 9, so that's going to push that up to 6. So we get 0.00, not 5, 4, 6. 2 significant figures. And the last one, 1 significant figure. It's going to be my 4. After my 4 is a 5. It's going to go up to 0.005. That'll be to 1 significant figure. Last one then. Same idea again. Start counting here. Start with 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that goes to 3, 0, 8. That's a 5, so it's going to push that up to 3. For my decimal point here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 figures. So I need to fill in my space here with a 0. But I don't continue them past my decimal points. I don't need to put my point in, and I don't need to put any zeros in after that. If I did, they would then become significant because they would be showing accuracy. So that's it to 4 significant figures. Three, 2, 3 takes me to the 8. After the 8 is a 2. 2 doesn't change anything, so I get 3, 0, 8. I've got 2 spaces before my decimal point, so I need to fill in those 2 spaces with zeros. That's 3 significant figures. I hope by now we're figuring out what 2 would be. Rid of these. Give you more thinking time. I'll rub these out. There we go. 1, 2. Way to the 0 after the 0 is an 8. That must be 3, 1. But I need to fill in zeros. 1, 2, 3. Last one then, 1 significant figure. It's just my 3. After that's a 0, so it stays as a 3. And 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Okay, I'll leave you to try some rounding to significant figures then. As ever, please get in touch if there are any issues.